Well, the Guardians have answered my prayers, and I was able to get an early pre-release version of Halo Flashpoint at Gen Con. This poor guy didn't know he was going to be in my video. And I was looking at all the models. The models look real nice. I've already picked out my favorites. The Deadeye is definitely one of them, but not my favorite. But I was trying to think of a color scheme that I could pick that I would like. I had a lot of trouble deciding if I wanted to paint them all differently, paint them all as like one single fire team as a similar unit, similar color scheme. So I booted up Halo Infinite to check out their armor coatings. I thought about making them a red versus blue team specifically, just red and blue, not the, orange, pink, red versus blue Rooster Teeth. But I love metallics, and I really wanted to paint one of my teams metallic. And one of my favorite armor coatings is this bronze, this charred bronze coating. I really like it. It's simple. Paint scheme would be simple on it. It might not look the best, but at least it would be fast, easy, and I think it would look pretty solid. So we're going to use this as our paint scheme. If I was leaving you in suspense, my favorite model on at least the recon side of things is the Zvezda. I think he's awesome. He's running. He has that really nice full visor on there, as you can see I pointed to. It's going to make a really, really cool model. It's in action, and to be honest, it's one of my favorite models just in general, using it as well. We're going to start with Lead Belcher, and we're going to do a pretty heavy dry brush of Lead Belcher over everything. It doesn't really matter what the metallic is, as long as it's a darker metallic. You could technically paint the whole, just like all the armor wholly in this metallic. I chose this kind of heavy dry brush method because you get the blacks underneath. Obviously, I primed it black, and you can just see all that detail popping out, even with the metallics and those reflections. It's looking really nice. This is what it looks like all dry brushed. After we do the Lead Belcher, we're going to switch to Rune Fang Steel, and we're going to do a lighter dry brush of that. This is just a lot lighter silver color, a lot lighter metal, and we just want to hit the tops of the armor here. As you can see here, it really brightens it up, which is important because these models are going to be dark. That's the only downside to them, is they're a little bit dark, so if you're looking for high contrast on the table, this might not be the perfect color scheme, but it's really fast and easy, and I like it. But look how nice that looks. Once we're done with that, we're going to take out Brass Scorpion. This is going to go on a lot of the main armor pieces like the chest, the back, the legs. Probably going to want to do 2 coats of these. Kind of hurts taking away all that detail from the silver there. You see we're going to hit the leg parts here as well. And then I like to do these tiny little pieces on the arms because otherwise the arms just look too boring, and something needs to pop on there. And this is what it looks like with all that bronze painted on those armor pieces. You could stop here if you wanted to. They look pretty solid. But while that is drying, we're going to paint the weapons Eshin gray. I know the commando is green in Halo Infinite, but I want all my weapons to be uniform, plus the visor is going to be green on this model, so yeah. Nuln oil, we're going to put that everywhere on the armor. It will definitely get into those recesses and give the armor a little bit more depth, but it will dull the armor, so the next step after this, it is basically going to be touching up that armor again to make it shiny. And as you can see here, once it's dried, it has become fairly dull. So we're going to take out that Brass Scorpion again. We're going to basically do like an edge highlight over all of these areas, a little bit thicker of an edge highlight, because later we're going to put some chipped kind of paint on there to make it look better. But this, surprisingly, will make a huge difference to bring out the depth in the armor. Yeah, and this is what it looks like. So that shine has definitely come back a little bit, especially on the leg pieces. This is where we're going to take the Rune Fang Steel again, and we're going to kind of like make dots. If you have a small enough brush, then you can kind of make little streaks on there to simulate a chipping effect. Otherwise, you can do an edge highlight. I'm just doing these little dots. They didn't come out exactly how I wanted, but I was overall pretty happy with how they turned out. Man, and does that not just look cool with the chipping effect on there? It really brings it together. But we're going to add some, I believe this is called Nazgrid Yellow, just to little tiny points in it, almost like lights. You can alternatively make these like red or blue, but yeah, these little jetpack, areas back here, I'm just gonna paint with that yellow just to bring out some more, detail in it. And then there's a couple spots in the front here that I'm gonna get right here. And that helps to bring the armor together. Now, you're pretty much done with the armor there except the visor, but we're going to get to that. Then you're going to take some Administratum Gray and dry brush on the weapons. Please use a dry brush, not like me who washed this brush off and is using it as a dry brush because it's still wet. It just doesn't turn out. But I switched to a dry brush and you can see how much better it worked. So we're going to just really bring out that kind of like military type of gray in the weapon. Then we are going to get that Runefang steel and do another quick dry brush just to bring out the details. Make sure to get both sides. I'm only showing the one side. Oh, I do show both sides here. Now this Averland Sunset Yellow here is going to go on the weapon. Depending on whichever weapon you have, you want to try to find some points of interest and put that yellow on there just to give it kind of a line and a design, nice armor coating. Now we're on to my favorite part of the whole model, the visor. We're going to want to take that Runefang steel and cover the whole visor with it. We really want this bright silver to cover every inch. Then we're going to take Plague Bearer Flesh, contrast paint. We're going to lightly, you don't have to water it down or anything like that, but lightly just get some on your brush and brush it over that Runefang steel. It'll give it that kind of green, yellowy look that some of the default visor colors have. You might want to do 2 coats on this. I think I ended up doing 2 coats in the end, or you might want it to be more subtle, but I really enjoyed how this yellowy green looks. If in the future I want to do more visors, I'm probably just going to buy a metallic visor color. I'm sure there's plenty out there. We're almost done. We're getting on to basing. I took this snow kind of texture paint from Vallejo. It kind of looks like sand or snow. It's funny. So we're going to actually use these on my other 4 models. So stay tuned to that. That's going to be a surprise for a lot of people. But we're going to put this on the base of these ones for right now. You can see it. I mean, as snow, it looks fantastic, but we're not going to make it snow. We're going to make it sand. But it covers real nice. You just want to cover the whole thing. Then you want to get Seraphim Sepia Shade after that has dried and just cover the whole base of everything, all that texture paint. And we're going to make it more of a deserty type of base. But yeah, just make sure to cover all that so it gets all in the nooks and crannies. You want to do 2 coats of this. Then I took Tallarn Sand and I just did a heavy dry brush on there just to take the edge off that white and add another color, another desert color on there. Then we're going to take some Eldar Flesh, which is a specific dry paint, and we're going to just dry brush the tips of those. It's going to give it, I know Eldar Flesh seems weird, but it definitely makes it pop a lot more without being too white. And it really gets the contrast that I'm looking for in a base. Then we want to touch up the rim, which is always the most fun. We're going to add some tufts on here. I chose green because of the variance in color. You could use a desert tuft, but I think it'll blend in too much. The green definitely works here. And then we're done. This is how they turned out. Sorry, no flashy music or edits, but I wanted to get this video out quick and painted so we can get some battle reports in. But look at how awesome they look against this terrain. It's just a whole squad of these with the visors and the poses and the tufts and everything. It just looks really, really good. From behind, I didn't get a lot of shots from it, but when you're playing from behind, they look really nice as well. I'm hoping to get these in a battle report soon, but I gotta paint up that second fire team that I have with the exact same models, but it's a little bit different. I don't want to give too much away, but we're definitely gonna make them creepy and maybe a little oozy. So make sure you flood those comments and subscribe. Thank you.